Hey, what's going on, guys? Bomb Mentality here, and do we have an exciting day of technical analysis here for you? So I'm just going to jump right into it, guys. We had some crazy volatility over the past couple days, and finally, we're getting some decent confirmation to the bear side. I have been remaining patient and waiting for this, and every single time it's just been a trap to both sides, and we finally got some decent breakdown. Decent, okay? So let's jump into it here. Here's what we got, guys. The ES. We take it to the monthly, right? We zoom out, okay? Here, this yank right here, this was the COVID, the March 2020 crash, the big capitulation, right? We soaked it, kept moving higher. This is the largest monthly downside candle we've had since back in 2020, okay? This is significant in the short term, and you could say the medium term. This is the largest downside red candle so far on the monthly we've seen through all of last year. So this is a significant downside move. It's important to remember that and take that into consideration as you're scouting for either bearish entries to play the downside, or you're looking to make bullish entries, okay? This is a significant downside move. It's important to note the volume. The volume isn't anything too crazy yet, okay? And we're going to zoom in here. We're going to go to the weekly, okay? Zoom in closely here. You can see the next macro demand is going to be down there at, let's just say 4,300, right? That 4,270 area. Then you've got 4,400 is the next whole $half mark to watch. We just broke down below that significant supply at 4,500 on the weekly. We're going to take it in, okay? We're going to go to the daily, right? Let's zoom in close here. You can see we have had a lot of volatility here over the past 2 months. Just down, up, down, up, down, back up, down. And this is the bottom of the channel we were watching. I talked a lot about this morning. I posted on Twitter. If we do not see hourly confirmation over that 45.65, okay, it's not to be trusted as a bullish move. Sure enough, we rejected 4,600. We didn't even make an hourly high or low over 45.65 before we just dumped into the close and trapped everybody who was buying this bottom of the trend line looking for the same V-shaped rally we've seen before. 3 times in a row towards this trend line. The people who looked for that today, they got killed, and now they're trapped into the close. Okay, and they're going to be looking to see if they can sell if we pump back into that trend line. That's a situation we're in. That's what I was warning about, and that's what we've been talking about. If you were long from before this breakdown, anywhere near this red line, this 4,500, 4,520, if you were long, your stop loss should have been on 4,500. Why? Just because of the potential for a larger downside macro move down to that, 4,270, 4,300. That's not something you'd probably want to bag. I'm just saying, okay? So we got the breakdown below the bottom of the previous channel support. I'm going to zoom in here on the 4-hour. Nasty 4-hour downside candle trapped everybody who bought in here. And on this low, they're all underwater now. They're going to be looking, if we can get to 4,500 or 4,520, they're going to be looking to take some off, right? If they don't just start dumping it here after hours, okay? At this point, the big question is, when will the market bottom? Take a look over at the VIX. The VIX had a nice parabolic into the close. Is it anything crazy? No. Wake me up when we get back over 35 so I can start selling some more call side verticals. I don't even think we're going to get there, if I'm being completely honest with you. We'd have to see a significant increase of fear from here, and so far, I am not impressed with it. Let's just wait and see where futures open up in the morning. Until the VIX gets over 30, I don't see too much panic going on. This is finally, this right here, this type of move, this sharp downside, is stop losses getting hit. This is some people panicking out, right? But it's not anything to be too concerned about. It's still at this point, people are looking at this next technical demand to buy, right? When you see VIX break over 30 and 32.50, 35, people aren't expecting this demand to hold at that point. The anticipation and the fear has risen so much. Now they're like, well, shoot, you look out here on the weekly and we can come all the way back down to 3,500. That's what's going to happen when you see this VIX break over that 30. Then things start getting hot. Until then, let's just look to the next technical demand. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's see what we can do. All right. If you're shorting on the short term, your risk needs to stay on that 4,500. If you're getting short down here, even closer, you want to be short over that 44 If you're short at 44.65, you need to break even that stop, just because, think about it, you have room all the way back up here to 45.20 if we do get the bounce into previous supply. Where could this go into tomorrow? We could wake up at 4,400. We could wake up at 4,380. We could also wake up at 4,500. You know, it can go either way. We're seeing a lot of volatility in the markets right now, and that definitely can happen. I don't think now is the time to buy. The time to buy was over 4,500. Now, the next level I'm watching is first 4,400 and then second 4,300. It's probably not to buy the SPY or buy the ES. I'm probably going to be focused on beta names. I'll just jump over here to NQ just because it'll be faster than charting every single stock individually. I'll go through that in my room after this video. But you zoom out here on the daily, this support, you may think this may correlate with 4,400, but I would estimate we'd be below that by 4,400. 14,000 is really what you want to keep an eye on. If you're looking to bounce tech, you want to see this move back into 14,000. If we get that move back into 14,000, yeah, I like that. Yeah, 14,000 is where you want to look for that NQ to pull back into to get long beta. That'll correlate with a ton of names. And that would be the first attempt to bounce. You may need to give it a little bit of time, but that'd be the first attempt to bounce. If we wake up in the morning and we're at 14,000 and we open 14,000, I'm going to be scouting bullish entries. I'm not looking to get short. If you do see the gap up to just below 15,000, or how that correlates on the ES is 4,500. If we see this move back up towards 4,500, chances are it's probably going to get sold, unless there's some kind of technical shift in the news or anything like that. The bears need VIX to get over 30 to get that fear. But even if we just sit here around 25 and we just walk this thing down, that's okay, because beta is going to set up. The NQ is going to set up for a good move. You're going to have a ton of stocks on discount. It's just important to keep in mind next week we have some big fundamental catalysts that could affect the market. The question you should be asking yourself is, are those priced in, and is the move we have now an overreaction? Those are some of the things you need to think about. So if you're trading long biased right now, keep your stops in check, okay? If you're trading short biased right now, definitely keep your stops in check on that, that 4,500, 15,000 area, just to make sure things don't get run away from you if you have some kind of crazy V-shaped recovery, which I doubt. The bears are in control right now, the short term, and they have some potential on the medium term as well for that ES to go for that 4,300. So that's what you got to keep an eye on, guys. Keep your risk in check. Be careful. Continue to develop that bot mentality, which is the trading mentality, where you learn to develop your emotions so you can trade like a machine, guys. And if you're interested in joining the chat room, there is information in the description box below. And yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Deuces.